live? Oh yeah, okay. I've got a snazzy thumbnail apparently. Alright. We've got some good stuff to look at today. Are we live? Oh damn, where can I hear myself? Oh yeah, okay. I've got a snazzy thumbnail apparently. Good. Alright, let's go with this. I'm using Restream for the first time. Because I'm for the first time streaming on Twitch as well as YouTube. So we'll see how that goes. Only got one new thing on the Fast Action Network today. I'll bang this out. It's a Best Western supply thing. And done. These are old ones. Okay, what should we start with then? I've been meaning to have a look at these Fornalytics tactics and practice pieces. So we can do that. Turn this down just a touch. Okay. Tactics and practice. Standalone resources that delve into the research behind one popular advocacy intervention at a time. So the format of these is, looking at the research related to specific advocacy tactics. We've got the science of social media advocacy, the science of plant-based defaults and nudges, the science of protests and demonstrations, the science of vegan challenges. Hey Rio, how are you doing? Yeah, I'm good. Good to see you. Thanks for joining. I'm using Restream for the first time, and I'm just noticing that it's still showing me that I've got 0 viewers, but obviously, evidently not. Good stuff. Well, yeah, we're just taking a look at the Fornalytics Tactics and Practice page. We're going to have a look at some of the research on, well, one of these. Any of these tickle your fancy as something that you'd like to learn more about in terms of animal advocacy? Which game do I play? I don't play games, non-stream at least. We do boring reading here. They warned me about the Zoomers on Twitch. Oh, indeed. I'm not too sure about this. Do I have OC? Well, yeah, I do have OC, original content. I'm reading from Fornalytics at the moment. Sometimes I read stuff that I've written. We read a lot of different vegan blogs. But we're always learning here, you know. I try and make it useful. I'm trying to help vegans to become better advocates. It won't be everyone's speed, you know. But people who enjoy this kind of thing seem to like the content. I'm trying to sharpen up vegans in terms of our advocacy skills. So let's see what we've got. Can you show me your OC? Yeah, well, sometimes I read from the Brian Research website. This is my website. And we write similar things to what we read on the stream, basically. Oh yeah, I don't know how to do that right now, but my Discord link I think should be in my description or whatever it's called on Twitch. So feel free to come and join. Yeah, this is a thing that we wrote. Actually, this is kind of interesting. Why don't we have a look at this, because this has been quite well read on the website. It's about the concern about artificial intelligence using a lot of water. And so a researcher on our team did a comparison of AI, water use, and the cattle industry. And here she is. This is Abby. Oh, check it out. We can actually hear from her.
This insight compares the water footprint of AI data centers with that of the beef and dairy industries. While AI's water consumption is increasing and a concern, it's significantly smaller than the vast amounts of water used by animal agriculture, particularly beef and dairy. Beef and dairy production require trillions of liters of water daily, far exceeding AI.
Yeah. Right, you know what? Let me pause that, buffer it, we'll read, we'll come back. Recently, there's been growing concerns about the water needed for AI systems like ChatGPT and Google's Bard, powering our online lives. Headlines highlight the cooling needs of data centers, and the numbers are eye-catching. But let's put it into perspective. While ChatGPT uses about 18.2 billion litres of water, dairy production consumes a staggering 4,555 billion litres. That's nearly 250 times more water for a single industry. AI's water consumption, a drop in the bucket compared to the livestock industry, especially dairy and beef. If we want to conserve water, we need to focus where it counts: animal agriculture. In recent years, concerns about artificial intelligence have expanded beyond its societal implications to include its environmental impacts, particularly water consumption. Headlines have called out the large amounts of water required for cooling AI data centers. However, when compared against the water usage of cattle farming, AI's demands are a drop in the bucket, paling in comparison. Understanding the big picture is crucial to refocusing efforts on the greater environmental challenge of livestock farming. In recent years, concerns about artificial intelligence have expanded beyond its societal implications to include its... Alright, I fell on this, I've read this sentence before. Okay, oh yeah, this is the quote at the top of the page. Okay. I won't read that again. AI's water consumption, running the numbers. AI systems such as ChatGPT rely on massive data centers that require significant cooling to function effectively. Globally, approximately 11,000 data centers serve millions of users, consuming water primarily for cooling and electricity generation. Water use across data centers can vary significantly, anywhere from 68,000 litres in small facilities to 2.1 million in the largest ones, equivalent to the daily consumption of about 4,200 people. Wow. With more and larger data centers comes a greater demand for water. Google's data centers consumed 20% more water in 2022 compared to 2021, while Microsoft's water usage increased by 34% in that same year. Geez, that's alarming. Around half of data center demand is for AI, and that is rising rapidly. This is because for the past 2 years, the primary method companies have used to create smarter, more capable AI models is to increase the amount of data and computing power used to build it, often by 10 to 100 times. This brings with it a large increase in water use. These figures are undoubtedly concerning, However, we should be cautious in sounding the alarm bells on AI for two reasons. Firstly, there is significant progress in reducing AI's water impact, and secondly, it may distract from far greater sources of wasted water. Putting AI water use into perspective. Despite these numbers, the water usage associated with AI remains significantly lower than that of coal, biodiesel, and nuclear energy. Where Google's AI can require 500,000 gallons, 1.89 million litres per day, nuclear cooling systems can demand up to 500,000 gallons of water per minute. Wow. Moreover, 500,000 gallons of water per minute. I mean, it's like a waterfall, basically. Moreover, efforts to mitigate AI's water footprint are already underway. Companies like Google have pledged to use recycled water for cooling in some facilities and have engaged with local communities to minimize their impact on regional water uses. Just thinking technically all water is recycled water in some sense, but I gather they're meaning they're using it. I suppose in cooling systems you don't necessarily need clean water, right? So you can just run it around. Google and Microsoft are both prototyping zero water solutions, closed loop systems that capture and reuse evaporated water. Additionally, new cooling designs could save up to 125 million litres annually. So while AI companies are building bigger models and serving them to more people than ever before, they are also working on efficiency improvements to partially offset these increases. As resource-hungry as AI data centers appear to be, the dark reality is that for decades, another industry has dominated our resources, particularly fresh water use. ChatGPT's water requirements pale in comparison to animal agriculture, specifically beef and dairy. Animal agriculture's impact. In stark contrast to AI, animal agriculture is a major driver of global water consumption and environmental degradation. Livestock accounts for over a quarter of all of humanity's water use. Much of this water is used to grow crops like corn and soy, which serve as feed for billions of farmed animals. Feed can account for a staggering 41% of all the water used in agriculture. Beef and dairy are particularly water hungry. Producing a kilogram of beef alone requires a staggering 15,400 litres of water. Globally, the daily water usage for beef production amounts to approximately 2.49 trillion litres, with leather and other cow products adding up to 2.53 trillion litres per day. This means that together, beef, leather and byproducts demand over 5 trillion litres of water. This is roughly the equivalent of 2 million Olympic-sized swimming pools per day. Beyond direct water use, manure runoff and agricultural fertilizers contribute to water pollution, leading to harmful algae growth and biodiversity loss in freshwater ecosystems. Dairy production, then. The environmental footprint of dairy production dwarfs many industrial activities, including AI's water consumption. In fact, dairy farming tops all other agricultural sectors by billions of litres. Well, this is the key graph. We've got the AI things on a different scale here. Beef has deservedly drawn scrutiny over the past decade, but it's time dairy faced the same. Although beef uses more water per kilo, we produce far more dairy, 552 million metric tons versus 60 million for beef and veal. Industrial dairy's toll on water systems is staggering. A Food and Water Watch report highlights how major basin states, such as Arizona, California and Colorado, are strained by the sector. Alfalfa, a key feed crop for dairy cows, consumes 2.2 trillion gallons of water annually, across the 7 basin states. This fresh water is vital for residents who now have to face severe droughts. Meanwhile, the 2.5 million dairy cows on mega dairies in these states require an additional 218 million gallons of water per day for drinking and washing alone. To make matters worse, industrial dairy farming not only depletes water but also degrades the quality of ecosystems. Improper manure and fertilizer management leads to contaminated local water resources such as wetlands and forests. In both scale and impact, industrial cattle farming, both beef and dairy, is one of the most water-intensive and water-destructive systems on the planet.